Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. So, did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And did you find it to be an adequate Wednesday crossword?
It was a fascinating puzzle.
Okay, I'll take that to be a yes.
Yeah, I was awed by it.
Really?
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was clever. About six sevenths of the clues and answers I really liked. One I thought was a bit of a clunker.
Oh, really?
But for the most part, I was highly impressed.
Okay, well, good.
And even the one that I thought was a clunker was me just sort of, I don't know, being in grading mode or something and looking for something to critique.
I see.
But it was overall a great crossword. It was by two authors, Jeffrey Martinovich, this is his 8th, and Will Nettiger, this is his 52nd. And he has made some really tough Saturday crosswords, as I recall.
I recall those too.
This is not a Saturday crossword, and it wasn't too tough. I mean, it's a Wednesday, so it's not supposed to be.
It took me a while, though.
By the way, for listeners who are unfamiliar with this, the New York Times crosswords get more difficult, generally speaking, as the week progresses. Monday is considered the easiest. Saturday is considered the hardest.
That's right.
And then Sunday is considered to be, generally speaking, like a large Wednesday. Yeah. So not too hard. But if you've noticed that the crosswords seem to be become harder as the week progresses, it's not you. It's Joel Fagliano, the editor of the New York Times.
That's the way it goes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. But this puzzle's theme was I thought, quite impressive. Mm-hmm. There were
7
themed clues. And you knew they were themed clues, at least 6 of them, because every other square was shaded. And the answer, or the revealer, was right in the middle of the puzzle, and that was 40 across. Think before placing a bet, or what solvers must do to fully appreciate each starred clue. And the answer to that was consider the odds.
Yes.
And if you took a look at the themed clues, every odd numbered square was shaded. So the first square was shaded, the third square was shaded, the 5th square was shaded, and so on and so forth. Okay, so if you looked at the clue and the answer, it made sense. But if you just looked at the odds, it still made sense, which that just blew me away. For example, 18 across, Mendel studied them, and the answer was green peas, and which is true. I mean, he did all those experiments with peas and determined various heredity traits, things like that. And so that was the answer. But if you took just the odd letters, you get Genes, genes. Mm-hmm. And of course, that's what he discovered, the whole idea of the genetic passing down various traits genetically. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that was the theme. And 20 across was disconcert mightily, and that was frazzle. But if you just looked at the odds, it was F-R-A-Z-E, or phrase, which can mean...
No. F-A-Z-E, not the R.
Oh, you're right. F-A-Z-E.
The grade squares.
Oh, that's right. So I had it highlighted so they all looked...
Oh, okay. Blue. Yes, they do. Right.
Right. So that's F-A-Z-E, phase. I don't know what that is.
When you phase, to be phased by something?
Yes.
Is to sort of be...
I guess sort of confused, yeah.
Right.
Frazzled means kind of confused and Yeah, phase means confused. So anyway.
I mean, usually I hear it in terms of they were not phased. I never phased by itself is rarely used, but not phased.
Yeah, means
they were not distressed or distracted or affected by something.
Mm-hmm. Right. 31 across was tons, and the answer was all sorts, like all sorts of stuff. But if you take just the odds, you get a lot, which is also tons.
Right.
Okay. 46 across, book designer's concern. And the answer was footnote. But if you looked at just the odds, you get font, which is also a book designer's concern. And then we had 61 across, ones with a good arm. And the answer was archers, or with just the odds, aces. And then finally, 63 across, mess that might be sticky was situation, like a sticky situation, but just the odd letters. You get stain, which can also be sticky.
Right.
So that was the theme. I just thought it was ingenious.
Yes.
I'm like, who could ever think of words and then taking every other letter of the word and have the same meaning?
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing.
To answer your question, Jeffrey Martinovich and Will Nediger.
Right, but extremely clever.
By the way, I miscounted. There were 6 themed answers plus a revealer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The only one that I was sort of a little bit dubious about was 46 across, book designer's concern. I thought that a font is definitely a book designer's concern. I thought a footnote is sort of more content.
Well, how that footnote's presented would be the designer's
That's true, yeah.
concern. Like how big should it be? Should it be at the bottom or at the end of the chapter? Or, so yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It would definitely be a designer's concern.
All right. You convinced me.
All right.
I am convinced.
Woohoo!
It started off with one across, flower in a children's rhyme. And I for a moment hovered on the word rose for no apparent reason, because one down was like eyes after a good cry. And I thought, at first I had runny, which I realized was actually a nose more than an eye.
Yes.
And then I had ruddy, because I thought you'd have red eyes, but that's more of complexion.
Yes.
And then eventually I got to the right answer, which was puffy, which meant I couldn't use rose anymore. It became posy.
Posy.
And of course it's
the rosy.
A pocket full of posies. Is it a pocket full of posies, singular?
No, I think it might be plural.
Let's see. Ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posies.
Yeah, I think it's...
Right. And that's why I was sort of a little bit confused about posy in the singular.
Mm-hmm.
But it needed to have a Y there because 4 down, fool from the Yiddish was YUTZ.
Yes.
You YUTZ. That's great. There's an insult that no one will understand. I mean, the tone of voice might suggest to them that they're being insulted, but they'll look at the word and say, have I been insulted? It's the ideal insult.
That's where I ended up. Because I never heard the word YUTZ.
Really?
No.
Oh, I use that to describe my students.
Nobody has ever called me a YUTZ.
I call my students that all the time.
Oh, yeah?
You're going to argue your grade? You YUTZ. And then they don't know what to do.
I guess I would. I wouldn't.
Usually involves calling my chair. But yeah, that was an interesting word. Let's see here. Right next to that, we had 14 down, veges out, which was lazes.
Right.
And then right next to that, we had 21 down, zapped with light, which was lazed.
Yes, I saw that.
So we had lazes, we had lazed, and of course that was running through the clue when you took the odds gave you phase. So we had phase, lazes, and lazed. Mm-hmm. I thought that was extraordinary.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm not sure who was the driving force there. I want to say Will Nediger, just because he's had 52 New York Times crosswords.
Mm-hmm. Well, and on top of that, we had 26 down, which was Ophelia's vengeful brother in Hamlet, Laertes.
Right.
So lazed, and Laertes.
Well, and actually, the original name, of course, as Shakespeare wrote it, was LAERTES.
No, it wasn't.
You're not familiar with LAERTES because that was in the 0th folio. By the time they got to the first folio, it had become LAERTES.
I see. Yes.
We had 8 down, film buff was cineast.
Yes, I've never heard that word before.
I don't think it's a debut. It has appeared in the New York Times crossword 3 times, in 2004, in 2019, and now today. Every time it was clued as film buff.
Wow.
Come on, cruciverbalists, come up with a different clue.
How do you say that? Cineast?
I'm guessing it's cineast,
Cineast.
but I'm not sure. I've never heard anyone say it.
I've heard cinephile.
But my problem with cineast was it ran into 27 across Cartesian conclusion, and I went for ism because I was thinking of Cartesianism. And when I say I was thinking, I should put that in quotes, because whoever heard of Cartesianism? I can't even pronounce it. Anyways, I had ISM, which meant it was cineste, CAINESSTE. And I realized, I had a mistake somewhere in the grid, and then I realized that it was I am, because, of course, it's I think, therefore I am.
Right.
I think that's where that's coming from.
Oh, okay. That makes sense now.
We had, let's see, right next to cineast, we had 28 down, Eeyore-like, which was morose.
Right.
And I also noticed we had 50 across, sad sound was a sob, and 70 across, response during an eye exam, worse. So we had worse, we had sob, we had morose.
Yeah.
I wanted to say to the constructors, cheer up, you're in the New York Times, you ought to be happy. But
they had to be sad to get into the New York Times.
Apparently. Actually, I had that last one, response during an eye exam, worse. I had the OR, the second and third letters. And so I thought it was going to be like, what do you prefer, A or B?
Oh.
Except I had an extra letter, so it's just like it's either A or B. And then,
right.
And of course, I just went to my optician, or my optometrist, and she usually says 1 or 2.
Yes, mine too.
Really? That must be the first thing they learn in optometry school. Today we're going to learn how to count to 2. 1 or 2. Anyways, it was worse because it was the response during an eye exam.
That's right.
And just like, is this better? No, worse.
Better or worse?
Better or worse. Now we could slip in like an ad for my optometrist, but she might not appreciate it. I don't know. Has anyone ever rejected an ad before?
I don't know.
We had 12 down. Sylvan Blank Electropop Duo, ESSO.
Yes, I didn't know that.
I bet Joel Fagliano was just ecstatic to know there was a clue for ESSO that did not involve a Canadian gas station.
That's right.
It's like, finally. My guess is he is responsible for founding Sylvan Esso just to stop them from having to say Canadian gas station, Esso.
Right.
For 36 down, brand of party cups. What did you think first?
Solo.
Really? Oh, okay, fine. I thought Dixie.
Oh, no.
They make the cups, right?
Not the red Solo cups.
It doesn't say anything about red.
I know.
It just said
That's
brand
what
of...
you usually say it like well, maybe not anymore, but when I went to college, it was red Solo cups.
Really?
For the beer, yes.
Well, I went to parties that mainly involved dentists and hygienists, and so they had Dixie cups.
Oh.
Yep.
Interesting.
And very clean teeth at those parties. 40 down, lunchroom casually was calf. I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause here for you to rant about the word calf.
Well, calf is much shorter than cafeteria.
Right.
I still think most people could probably spit that out.
Well, actually, that's sometimes what they do.
Go into the calf.
Spitting out is what they sometimes do at the cafeteria. And maybe it was short for cafe. Then you're only saving one letter.
That's right.
Let's see. We had 42 down. I thought that was amusing. Like many kids post-Halloween was hyper.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then hyper.
True.
Right.
True.
Hyper ran into 51 across. Moral support. Moral being spelled MOREL.
Yes.
And the answer was STEM.
STEM.
That was brilliant.
Yes, that was quite good.
It took me. It's like, what? Oh, that kind of moral. Okay. 54 down. I'm assuming you were acquainted with longtime Saints QB whose name has a windy homophone. Breeze.
Yes.
Brees.
Drew Brees.
Whoa, you even knew the first name.
I did.
Wow.
He was quite the quarterback for the New Orleans.
Was he as good as Tom Brady?
I in some respects, I think he was, but I don't really know all of his stats. But you see his name, with records by it. So,
well, I mean, it could be most interceptions, most sacks.
It could be, but I don't think so. No, he was quite good.
Most negotiation errors during a negotiation. So we don't know how he compares to Aaron Rodgers, or we'll just assume he's worse than Patrick Mahomes. That's probably a reasonable assumption there.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is awfully good.
59 across. Pep. I went for Zip, but it was Vim.
That's right.
Did you go for Vim immediately?
I did go for Vim immediately.
And then for
Vim and Vigor.
Vim and Vigor. For 60 down, then, did you go for the 60 down being the Rent character based on a seamstress in La Boheme, Mimi?
I wasn't quite sure what that one was, but I had the M, so I think it might be Mimi. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that is it for today, then.
Okay.
So before we sign off here, just a reminder that our Triplet Tuesday contest is now going strong. The entries are just pouring in, but you still have time. You have still lots of time to enter. Listen to yesterday's episode, the Tuesday episode, which talks about our contest, and then proceed to send us your score, how you did.
Yep.
And on Sunday, we will be announcing a winner.
That's right.
And that is it for today.
Yep.
So thanks, everyone, for listening. Remember, we love feedback. crosswordpodcast@icloud.com, or click on the send fan mail link. And we'll be back again with our cutting edge analysis of Thursday's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.